Hello everyone, back again for February's craft, which is our hand-painted wine glass. And before we get started, I wanted to show you what we're going to be making next month in March, and it's a scarf made out of t-shirts. And I'll show you one way, and then in the video I'll be attaching to the document that you can see 3 other ways possible to use your t-shirt. So let's get started learning how to do our glass. Okay, in your bag that you're going to get, be careful with the bag because there is a wine glass in there wrapped up really well, but just be careful since it is glass, it will break easily, especially the stem. Before you get started, first I need you to wash this glass really well, soap and water, and let it dry, or you can take some rubbing alcohol and rub it with a paper towel to get all of the grease from fingerprints or dust and like that, so the paint and even your blue tape will stick well. So after you have washed it really well, and you have in your bag also, you have a pencil. You can use this end of a pencil to, we'll show you how to use it to do the dots on your glass. In your bag, you will get, of course, some Q-tips. You can use those. There's 2 different kinds of Q-tips. I found some really interesting ones that have a little tiny tip on the end. They look a little different. So you get a couple of those on either end. You get, there you go, 2 different ones on either end. And then we have the regular Q-tips. We also in there will get 4 different sizes of hearts in your bag, so you can pick. And what I would do is take the actual pieces and figure out what design you'd like on your glass. Do you want just one bigger heart in the center and just do here? Or do you want a couple little ones to go next to each other like this? Or you can just do like a smaller one, then a bigger one, then a smaller one and bigger one around the rim. The only thing I want to suggest, and it's in the instructions which I will include in your bag, is make sure you leave enough room. Wherever you put your heart, remember you're going to be painting above it. So you don't want to get it too close to the rim here, because you don't want, if you're actually going to use it for a wine glass, you don't want to actually put your lip around where there is paint. So make sure you put your hearts a little farther down so that you can put maybe some little pretty dots above the top of the heart. Now, once you have everything out, I also included 3 colors. We have our red, our white, and our pink. And it's up to you. You can use all of one color. You can, like I did, use all 3 colors. However you want to do it. You can do a bunch of dots, just a few dots, or just one color, or I got really close to the edge like this. But if you want to, you can just go just outside the heart to make the shape of the heart. It's just a matter of what you like. So let's see. Next, I want to show you how to do your hearts. In your bag, you will also have a strip of blue tape. And I would decide after you get what you want to put on your glass in the hearts, you need to then take a pen, and I recommend a pen. It shows up much better on the blue tape. Just go out, rim the whole heart that you want to do on the blue tape. And then this tricky part. Once you have the heart outlined, you can start to cut it out. But I would leave a piece of the blue here because it's easier to peel up. If you cut out the whole heart, it's very hard to get the actual wax paper to split off from the blue. So leave a little bit here, and then you can finish off your cutting a little bit later. You can just finish, after you pull it off, just finish cutting out your heart. So I go ahead and cut out my hearts, and I've placed one big one in the front, and then I've placed a couple little ones in the back. So after you put on your heart, the one thing you need to make sure is that you've pressed it all the way down around the outside. So if you do get if you like to go around the heart with paint, none of it will seep inside. And I also want to reemphasize that when you do your hearts, after you cut it out, cut it in half this way. It makes it much easier when you go to take the blue tape off. You can start in the center and then gently just pull it around from where you have the paint. So that is another tip. Once you have placed your hearts where you want it, like I said, make sure they're pressed down really well so no paint can get inside. all the way around. Make sure they're pressed down really well with your fingernail. All the way around. And then comes the fun part. You can open up your paints. If I would suggest, and it says in the instructions, start with one color. Paint the one color or however you want to dot it around, and then leave it sit, and then do the next color. Once it dries, I would say mine dried within half an hour, so at least enough for me to continue with the next color so that they don't bleed into each other. Now, the good thing about this is if you put a dot and you're going, "Ooh, I don't like the way that came out," you can always take a paper towel and wipe it off, and make sure the paint is off really well, and then you can just start again. So I'm going to start with red and open it up a little bit. Now I have two different ways. I have your pencil that makes sort of a little bigger dot, a little flatter, and then I would take this and then dot it a little bit on a piece of the wax paper so that it'll come out clean. And then you can dot it right on, which is just a little bit on the heart or just around it, however you want. I actually, like I showed you here, actually touched the heart so that it's, when I took off, there's like half a little of a dot around the edge. I'm going to try this one a little different and go just outside it, like this. See how little dot. And then sometimes you can use, I would just use a little more, and then leave some room for the other colors. If you just want to use one color, that's fine. So you can just do one. I'm just going to leave room for other colors. So I'm just going to put another one here, and then take some more of the paint. Dab it a little bit. Make sure I get a good color. Do another one here. And another one here. See, now sometimes you don't have enough. It leaves a little open spot. So just grab a little more paint and dab right on top of it. And it comes out really nice. Not a problem. So you can do that all the way around the glass. Just keep dotting around. Like I said, doesn't come out well, you just dot over it. This one makes bigger dots than the others. Now that one I don't like quite well. I mean, it went a little too wide for me. So you can take your paper towel or your Q-tip and just wipe it off. Not a problem. Then you can take a little end of your paper towel and just wipe it off. Comes right off. There we go. And now we need to let that set so that you can do some other colors around the heart. If you want to, you can continue, like you could take maybe the Q-tip now and dip that in there and make littler ones outside. However, big or small, you can leave them small. You can make them a little bit bigger. It's nice if you don't like it, you can always just wipe it off and start again. See? So now we're going to let that sit, and then we'll come back to do our other colors. back again to paint the other color. But first I thought I'd show you here what I meant about cutting out the hearts. If we cut out this part of the heart, just show you here what I meant about holding on to a little part of the wax paper. Cut out the heart and then leave just a little bit of the wax paper that you can easily pull this off like that, and then you can finish cutting out the heart, and then it's easy to get that off. And you can just finish cutting out the little bits of the heart. And then you can just cut it down the middle. And it's ready to reassemble on your glass. So just a little more tutorial on that part. Okay, so now we've got our red done, and I think I'm going to put some pink next. And this time I'm going to try this kind of Q-tip that we have here. I've never tried that one before, so let's give that one a shot. And I dab it a little bit. And let's see, let's put it, I overlap my colors so that if I want one, I'd like maybe put it right there. And then I could put one, like right here. And if it sees that there's a not all pink, there's a little open spot, you can just dab it on a little. Dab it on a little. Okay. And then I think I want one right here. And how about right here? And we'll put one right here. And how about one right there? And then I think I'll use the other side, the littler ones, to get some tinier dots. Oh, I think I'll stick one right here too. I think I'll put one right there. This it actually is bigger than the other ones, than the regular little Q-tips. But I like the way it goes on. About the size of the pencil. So let's take. Hello everyone, back again to put our third color on, my white. I have not done yet, so I'll open that up. And I think I will use the pencil one here, and I'll dip it in there, do a little touch, and I'll do part of my bigger heart right now. New one. If it starts your Q-tip gets to be a little frayed, you might want to just grab a new one. That's why I gave you 8. So just in case, always use a new one if it starts to look funny. And I don't like the way this one came out, so I think I'm going to wipe that a little bit, and then you can always go back and put a little more on there. Make it a better dot. just a tiny red dot right there. There we go. And we're all finished. So now I have to let all these colors dry, and I'll be back to show you how to take off our blue tape. And also at the bottom, I think I will do the bottom. I like to do the bottom. So why don't I see the base of your glass? You can do too. I think I'll do mine in little circles all the way around. Okay, so now I've got my base painted, and I've got all my hearts covered the way I like it. So now we're going to let it dry a little bit. Now that we have our glass all painted, we'll let this dry, and I'll be back to show you how to remove the blue tape and either how to dry it or bake it in the oven to set the paint. So we'll be back soon. Back for the last time to show you how, when you got all of the dots on that you'd like, how to remove your blue tape. And that's why we cut it down the middle. It gives you a starting point in the middle to slowly just peel that back very gently, very, very gently. Just peel it back. Peel it back. Very slowly, carefully. There we go. That's one side. Peel back the other side. Sometimes you hold the dot down. Just peel slowly off, piece by piece. There we go. Now I can see I have a little of the paint that is seeped through, and you can just take your fingernail and scratch that right off. There we go. And then I see a little more of the white came off here. You can always do some touch-up. If you have a little spot that came off unevenly, just dot it again to fill it in. And there you have it. So let's do the back part. I also did a couple on the back. These will probably be a little trickier because they're so little. I'm going to hold down the dot as we go around. Hold down the dots. So on this one, we're going to need some work. So I just do like this, open up the red. Let's fill these in. I think I might stay with the one big heart after all of this. And there we have it. We touched it up. It all looks good. Now you have two options to set the paint. You can leave it for about 21 to 24 days just standing there. And then you can also take it, and if you place a glass on a baking sheet covered in the aluminum foil in a cold oven, and try not to get it too close to the heating elements on the top or the bottom. You might have to take out a rack. So just put it some aluminum foil on a baking sheet and stand it up in a cold oven. Then turn it on. It says in the instructions 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and then turn off the oven and let it sit until it's completely cool before you take it out of the oven. I just let mine sit for 21 days. It was fine. So I hope you enjoy this craft, and we'll see you next month for our t-shirt scarf. Hope to see you then.